Palma. Oh,
Oh,
that's unfair, and Palma 7 points in the game. Janelle Fuentes.
oh, wow.
Delgado makes the shot and knocks it down. Maloria is open. 3-point.
Goodness!
Face a jumper by Robin Celis.
Navarriero has time.
Now it's Martin Rosso. Turnaround jumper. Oh my goodness.
Basketball never stops here in the city of Lucena. Nandito po tayo ngayon sa loob ng Quezon Convention Center for the second game of our Saturday triple header. And we featured these two guys who put on masterful performances last time out in Bangged. Abra, Dave Ildefonso, magnificent in his first appearance in front of the Abrareños. And nung first game, nung triple header na yun, nandoon si JJ Caspe and produced the highest number of points in a game this season para sa Imus Brotherhood. But they have their work cut out for as Imus will take on Abra in the second game dito sa Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. Magandang gabi mga kaliga. Ken Pangilinan alongside Coach Mike Perez, and at courtside we have Miss Gianna Lianes. And Coach Abra certainly has been so impressive, especially in their last 10 games. And Imus, they're coming off a deflating loss laban sa Marikina.
Yeah, sobrang deflating yung loss na yun para dito sa Imus. They thought they had a chance to extend it to overtime, but today they'll be going up against a really good team in the Abra Weavers, and we'll see what kind of fight and the conflict this Imus team is gonna put up against Abra.
Let's see if Imus could bounce back, especially with what happened sa South Division natin. And of course, you're watching us live on the official Facebook page and YouTube channel. And also, we're live on Solar Sports. And Coach Mike, in terms of Abra getting the job done at home, that was a successful homecoming para dito sa Abra Weavers last Saturday. Pero ang nakalaban nila, Quezon Huskers, hindi naging madali yung laban na ito.
Oo, down sila ng parang 5 points in the first 5 minutes of that game. They were actually scoreless until Encho came off the bench and provided them their very first field goal, and they gave it a good run, and they were tied at 11 at the end of the first. And eventually things got hot for the Abra Weavers. Good compete though by Quezon. They didn't really shoot that well from the field, but they did real good. Sa 3, there was 11 of 27 shooting from there, and the free throws were also well done. And 13 assists, to which maganda yung naging result defensively for them. 20 points of turnovers from the 20 turnovers that they forced on Quezon in that game.
Abra actually giving Quezon a dose of their own medicine, holding them to only 53 points in that matchup. And you know, Dave Ildefonso, it was a highly anticipated debut for him in their hometown in Abra, and certainly did not disappoint in his first appearance dito sa harap ng mga Abreños.
Oo, yung excitement both sa side ni Dave Ildefonso at saka sa mga fans nitong Abra Weavers, but those 25 points on a 6 of 9 shooting from 3 points. Huge third quarter. He scored 14 points in that quarter alone, and really just gave them that stretch and that needed margin for them to win over the Huskers.
Sobrang init nung pagtanggap sa kanya ng mga Abreños last weekend, and they will also have a game later on next Saturday laban sa Pangasinan. Pero tungo muna tayo sa panig ng Imus na alam naman natin ang ganda ng simula nila dito, Coach Mike, in the South Division. They turned a lot of hits with their spectacular play, but they have lost 3 of their last 4 games, including this one. Supposedly a winnable game, but they lost in overtime against Marikina.
Oo, ang taas nung quarter scoring, high 20 quarters from both teams in the second to the fourth quarter, only to lose in OT by 3 points, 104-101. They had a chance to actually extend it, pero hindi pumasok yung last attempt nila. 44% shooting, that's pretty high. However, really good, really challenged when it comes to 3, shooting only 23% in that line, and you know, just the right shots made by Marikina in that game.
But, you know, may silver lining naman para dito sa Imus. JJ Caspe continues to build his resume para dito sa Brotherhood. How about this performance, Coach Mike?
Oh, 46 points and 8 rebounds to go with 6 assists. In the third quarter, he scored 12 points. In the fourth quarter, he scored 15. In OT, he scored 7. he really just willed his team into that match, and he had a chance to extend that into another overtime, pero it is what it is, a win that time for Marikina.
12 points in the first half. Pagdating nung second half and overtime, 34 points for a grand total of 46 big ones para dito kay JJ Caspe. Pero meron din naman siya mga katulong. Reggie Boy Masibas had also a good outing. But this guy, Kent Arriar, parang Swiss Army knife nitong Imus Brotherhood. Ito he could do a little bit of everything, and that's exactly what he did laban dito sa Marikina.
Oh, and just when they need points, he really was able to come up with those. 17 points, 12 rebounds, and 13 assists. Really just overall real good performance para dito kay Kent Arriar. And you like yung 13 rebounds that he did because walang Mark Doligon, pero trinabaho niya yung mga rebounds na yan para dito sa kanilang team.
Good news for Imus. Mark Doligon is back, and let's see if they could mount an upset laban dito sa Abra. Let's go to Richard Campos as he introduces his starters.
Live on Solar Sports, it's Abra versus Imus in Season 7 of Manny Pacquiao's MPBL. Here's the starting unit for Abra, Solid North Weavers. At forward number 83, Mark Yee. Playing center number 30, Alfred Batino. Guard number 12, Wilkin Lee. Point guard number 4, Marwin Taiwan. And at forward number 1, the Sheriff, Dave Ildefonso. The head coach is Yon Garcia. Assistant coaches Denog Miranda, Don Uro, and Edsel Balenya. The team owners, Mayor Jaja Bernos and Kong Mayor JB Bernos. The starters for Imus, Grumpy Joe Brotherhood. At forward number 24, Mark Doligon. The other forward number 17, Kent Arriar. Playing center number 14, Ray Acuno. At guard number 13, Yusei Koga. Shooting guard number 12, J.J. Caspe. Their head coach is Britt Ray Roma. His assistants are Jay Padrigao, Mike Orquillas, and Ricky Alcantara. Team consultant RJ Rizada. Assistant team manager TJ Marquez. The team owner Rubin Navarro.
Starting five brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Abra with Marwin Taiwan, Wilkin Lee, Alfred Batino, Mark Yee, and Dave Ildefonso making his fourth consecutive start. For Imus naman, Rusey Koga, JJ Caspe, Ray Acuno, Mark Doligon, and Kent Arriar. Our referees for this ball game, Edmar Aves, Michael Kinay, Lester Arcega, and fourth man is Manuel Binondo. Another crossover showdown, North versus South. Abra versus Imus, Dave Ildefonso. The grand homecoming. At inaabangan ulit siya ng mga Abreños. Next week, kalaban nila Pangasinan, pero first order of business, itong laban nila against Imus. Imus getting the first possession here. Mark Doligon nakabalik na para dito sa Brotherhood. Popostehan niya ngayon si Dave Ildefonso. Going right at him. And Dave Ildefonso standing his ground. Bola babalik. Bola rather mapupunta sa panig ng Abra. And this has been the formula of success for Abra. Ildefonso starting. Dave and Encho Serrano off the bench. Ildefonso goes right at Mark Doligon and scores.
Yeah, 14th straight start para dito kay Dave Ildefonso, starting on all of the games that he's played. And he's always gonna be very forceful to start any game kahit na sino pa yung makaharap nila.
JJ Caspe. Pinirikit Arriar. Labas ulit kay Caspe. Quick catch and shoot. Gets it to go.
Wow. Patuloy ang mainit na shooting ni JJ Caspe.
Yung mga puntos niya nung laban nila sa Marikina, Coach Mike, sobrang efficient eh.
Oo. At saka kita na, there were points in the game na nakikita mo na yung exhaustion dito kay JJ Caspe, pero he just continues to perform despite that situation.
Mark. Doligon pulls up. Short. Marquis the rebound. Taiwan in transition. Gives it up to Will Lee. Mark Yee for free. Book it. 5-3 start for Abra.
Laking bagay rin talaga si Marquis na naka-combination kay Batino because it allows him to play that higher side of the floor. And alam natin, pagdating dyan, kita mo naman yung range talaga ni Marquis.
Koga. Baseline drive. Good defense by Taiwan, forcing a turnover. This is something that Abra does so well. And they did it really against Quezon. Yung mga turnovers ng Huskers were really costly. And dun bumulusok itong Abra eh.
Kasi isa yan sa mga nagiging staple na nitong Abra Weavers. They have actually established themselves as the second best team that converts those turnovers into points. And they're getting roughly about almost 19 points per game out of it. At ang mabigat dyan, they are the second best scoring team. And they are also the second best defensive team. And so, where do you place yourself if you go up against this team? And so, a lot of yung mga high-tier teams natin, those that are above 500, going up the Abra Weavers would be a good test of what else and how far you've gone as a team this season.
Lee short on that one-hander. Mark Yee, siya rin naman, pinakitaan yung bata kung paano gawin.
And Marquis is, for the season, averaging roughly about 4 rebounds per game and nothing new to that number. Yung minutes lang niya talaga medyo bumaba because of the other guys really coming in. And Raven Gonzalez has proven to be one of those guys that has actually, kumbaga, nakakuha nung ibang playing time ni Marquis. But I'm sure Marquis wouldn't mind because he's just really an elder statesman that allows the young guys to perform at this level.
Alfred Batino scores from the outside, 9-5 Abra. 6.5 to go here in the first period. Kit Aryar gives it up to Rusey Koga. The pick provided by Kint Aryar from 20 feet. Something that he's so accustomed to doing. 9-7. Skip.
Karamihan ng puntos niya dun, puro perimeter, di ba, in that game.
Tres galing kay Dave Ildefonso. 5 early points.
And Kint Aryar in that game was shooting almost 50% from the field. And just shows you the quality of looks that he's been getting and the finishes on those attempts.
3-point shot. Hatid sa atin yan ng Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
Yung una-una nakatalikod si Kint Aryar doon, and so he didn't see that skip pass to the other side of the floor. And Dave Ildefonso has, done so well on that side of the floor.
Doligon with his left hand.
Tsaka nagkakaroon na ng game si Dave ng mga multiple 3-point makes, no? That's the danger of the progress of Dave Ildefonso. And here's another one that he attempts. And he takes it with a lot of confidence, trusting the amount of time that he put in that shot.
At yun din naman yung patuloy na tinatrabaho niya, Coach Mike. Those threes. And he's the first to admit na hirap siyang maayos yung aspect of his game to begin the season. But he has certainly found the comfort level, although not being too modest about it. Nung tinanong nga siya ni Sid if yung game has slowed down for him, sabi niya hindi pa. Dami pa niyang kailangan ayusin, and that speaks volumes to the mindset of Dave right now as a player.
Oo, totoo yan. And not just Dave, I feel the entire Abra Weavers organization, while they feel they're in a good place in terms of team development, chemistry, playing together with purpose, They do understand this season is far from over, and ika nga ni Kobe Bryant, job not done.
Oo.
And so you're gonna finish it off with a title at the end of the season. And after all, that's the primary reason why these guys have come together for the Abra Weavers.
Riacuno with a jumper. Imus keeping in step, down by just 3 points. Marquis facing up over the outstretched arms of Mark Doligon.
Isa na lang ang nagawa ni Mark Doligon to, umiling na lang. Nakuha yung bola sa mid-post. Naghanap na mapapasahan sa weak side. Since wala, went to his footwork, face-up basketball, and just measured that defense of Mark and calmly sank it.
Kit Aryar gives it up to JJ Caspe. Peeks at the clock. 5 seconds left. Basang-basa ni Marquis yung pasang yon ni Kit Aryar. Wilkin Lee. Oh, now you see me, now you don't.
At yung basang-basang pasa na yun ni Marquis, experience na yun. He understands when the ball is swung slot to slot, that first look is always going to be a high-low. And sa daming beses na siya yung nandun bumibigay ng pasa sa high-low na yun, alam na niya na dun manggagaling yung next pass sa opensa na yun.
Butata inabot ni Doligon kay Dave Ildefonso. Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
That was a very beautiful play, and Kin Aryar really just went to his bag, going to the footwork when he drew 3 defenders right in front of him, and it was really just time to let that go over for that shot make by Acuna.
4 seconds on the shot clock. Kit Aryar under the rest. Able to get that shot up and in.
These two guys, JJ Caspe and Kent Aryar, for a good time have played alongside each other. And you know, I'm sure a lot of the other teams are pretty curious on if they'd be available for the next season.
Marquis Belencion going at it. JP Belencion able to get a steal. JP finds Reggie Boy Basibas for that flip shot.
Just timely catch and shoot. Scramble defense right in the open floor. 4 white shirts right in front. They were outnumbered actually offensively kasi 3 versus 4 yun. Pero tama yung spot on the floor ni Reggie kaya he let go of that floater.
Basibas whistled for that foul. First subs coming in for Abra. Encho Serrano, Jack Cruz Dumont, Redel Fabro.
I think we're gonna see, you know, huge, considerable minutes rather for the homegrowns of Abra in this game. After all, I think the Imus Brotherhood team would go another 3 na David Defonso. I feel that the Imus Brotherhood team would be a good test defensively for those guys coming off the bench because ang ganda rin ang talento at movement itong mga players na ito ng Imus Brotherhood.
10 puntos agad para kay Dave Ildefonso.
And he's went on those runs ng volume shot makes in quarters. In that game, I think first quarter he had 8 points in the first quarter, then rested a little bit the second where he had 3 points, then went on that 14-point explosion in the third.
Has averaged 28 points in his last 3 games. Dave Ildefonso turning the corner. And lahat ng games niya so far have been in double figures in terms of scoring. Ito si Dave. Mintis yung unang free throw ni Jed Ong.
At saka nung first quarter of that game where they really struggled to make shots, despite missing, he just kept on going, you know, until that shot make by Encho Serrano.
This guy was the one who spearheaded that comeback against Quezon when they were struggling to begin. Ito si Encho Serrano.
There's one thing that Encho has provided para dito sa Abra Weavers. Really, for the most part, it's been scoring. He's the second leading scorer of second to Dave Ildefonso, so averages roughly about 18 per game. Encho averages about 12. So that 1-2 combo of Dave and Encho in the long run, malaking bagay ang may produce nan para sa kanila.
Raven Gonzalez with a reverse layup. Abra with his first double-digit lead. 71 seconds remaining in the first period.
And the Abra Weavers, #1 rebounding guy, #1 shot blocking guy, 53% field goal shooter, just goes to work. And that's just the admiration that the Abra Weavers have for a Raven Gonzalez.
Imus down by 10. They need this timeout. Special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. Magandang gabi po sa ating mga kaliga. Commissioner Kenneth Durendes in the middle. Surrounding him is Head of Operations Emer Oreta and Head of Security Rudy Distrito. Naimbag na rabii sa ating mga Ilocanong nanonood. Supporting Abra, of course, Romel Kalahat and the rest of Caloocan Batang Kangkalu will have a game later on going up against the home team, the Quezon Huskers. Basibas.
Ganda laban yung mamaya. I mean, the Caloocan team is, you know, iba rin yung naging dynamics nila when Coach Mike Sagigit came in, you know, and the players have actually responded.
And they're still undefeated under Coach Mike Sagigit.
Oh, yes. And that's just the type of impact and influence that Coach Mike has had. Oh, Dave, another three.
My goodness, Dave Ildefonso. Sizzling hot corner, 13 points.
Alam mo what's impressive about his threes? And catch and shoot and off dribbles. This one, another one.
That time a miss though.
Off the dribble, catch and shoot. Ang hindi ko na lang yata nakikita is yung on the move na three-point shot attempt para dito kay Dave. But pretty much those two. Standstill three, off a dribble three. You've seen it from Dave. And boy.
Pero ito kasi coach, kahit malayo, in rhythm
Oo. Yeah, you can say that's a rhythm dribble, but still, not everybody can do that.
Oh. Well, you know, the point I'm trying to make is, again, hindi pilit yung mga tira niya.
Yes. At saka you're not guarded, and you're shooting really good from three. At that point, he was what? 2 out of 3? Why not go and take another one?
That shot will not work at the end of the buzzer. And Abra just having their way. A huge reason why has been this guy, his 14th consecutive start, Dave Ildefonso, off to a hot beginning here para dito sa Abra.
His plus minus is 13. He's got 13 points on a 5 of 7 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3, a rebound and an assist. What more can you ask from a Dave Ildefonso?
Sa pagtatapos ng unang yugto, labang ang Abra kontra Imus 28-15.
Kayo ay nanonood pa rin po ng Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Yusef Taha will not be playing for Abra today due to lower back injury, while John Oduba is also out due to a knee injury. Pero kwento ni Coach Yong Garcia na super proud siya sa kanyang players for their last win against Quezon because he does consider the Huskers as one of the teams to beat here in the MPBL. That serves as reassurance daw para sa kupunan niya during their future games na kaya talaga nila talunin ang iba pang malalakas na kupunan dito. He said his team executed their defense beautifully during that game at hopefully daw it serves as a testament sa kanyang players that that is the foundation of their strengths. Ken and Coach Mike?
Maraming salamat, G. And, I talked about it at the top of the coverage how, Abra gave Quezon a dose of their own medicine because coming into that game, Quezon was #1 in terms of giving up the least number of points.
Right.
Pero, yung ginawa ng Abra kontra dun sa Quezon, just holding them to 53 points, was just a testament to how they've been excellent on both sides of the floor, Coach Mike.
Yeah. And nakita mo yung effort, that's what you love, as reported by Gianna. And I love that Coach Yong gives it back to his boys. Point in case, Yusuf Taha did not score in that game. He was so out of 2, but he had 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Those 2 steals for a big man to be coming off with steals, that's pretty huge. At there's a stat on closeouts that effort stats yun na hindi mo nakikita, but definitely in that game we saw a lot of that from Yusuf Taha, closing out, length of the floor defense, and just making it tough for the Quezon Huskers to execute anything offensively.
And he's looking ahead. Alam niya matitindi pa yung mga makakalaban nila. In fact, they're part of the top 6 right now in the North Division. Yung 5 kabilang doon, hindi pa nila nakakalaban. Nueva Ecija, San Juan, Pampanga, Caloocan, and Pangasinan. They'll have that matchup against the Heat Waves next Saturday in Bangued. And that should be a fun one, Coach Mike.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, last season, they were pretty good defensive team, allowing only 71 points to their opponents. But this year, so far, season to date, they're allowing only 68 points. That's second best in the season. And for them to continue to progress and develop, and I'd like to think they have not peaked yet, just pretty interesting stuff para dito kay Coach Yong Garcia.
Dami pa nila makakalaban ng malakas.
Oo.
Abra. Zamboanga is still there. Muntinlupa. Batangas City.
Alam mo kung anong pinakamalaking naging improvement nila from previous season to this season? I feel it's 3 things. One is scoring. They're almost a +5 scoring from 2024. Then there's points in the paint. They're also +5 in that department. And the fast break points, another +5. And all those 3 put in together just shows you how much of an impact these new guys have really, brought here for the Abra Weavers this season.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. Joshua David can't hit the free. Ball will go back to Imus.
And the thing is, they've done that without compromising defense. No? yung effort na in-exert mo sa opensa, hindi nag-degrade or tinamaan yung effort mo defensively.
Shot by the Brotherhood does not work. In transition, Serrano goes right at Errol Soriano. Foul will be called against Imus.
And Serrano tried to go through Errol, but Errol stood his ground.
Coach Roma is back. He did not make the trip to Abra, as well as Coach Ricky Alcantara. 28-19 is the tally.
Look at that. Look at that setup.
Austria, long 2-pointer.
See how they came off a baseline out of bounds. Really just wanted to throw the ball to that wing side and just set up that 4-out action. On the left side of the floor, you've got the ball, went on the middle ball screen and just located that 3 on that side of the floor by CJ.
First 2 points of CJ Austria. Dusey Koga. Caspe will not get it off in time. That will not count.
Yeah.
Nagulantang siya doon sa haba ni Raven Gonzalez.
Oh, and after all, yan ang best shot blocker ng Abra. I think for this season, lahat siya ang leader. He's number 1. He's roughly about 2 blocks per game. And for you to have that number per game speaks highly of how intimidating you are as a rim protector.
Austria, popostean si JJ Caspe. CJ, no good. Ariar comes away with it. Gives it up to JJ Caspe behind the back. Pulls it back out. Caspe to Soriano on the right side. Mark Doligon. Siya ngayon ang poposte laban kay Encho Serrano.
Yeah.
Agaw na naman. Abra tatakbo dito. Pasa papunta kay Jack Cruz Dumont. Gets it in. Plus a foul.
And it almost feels like every time, parang instructions is, guys, pag nakakuha tayo ng live turnover as a reward, tumakbo na kayo, fast break tayo.
Fast break of the game. Hatid sa atin na Extreme X Play on the go speaker. Take your music anywhere.
And you just love how these guys have been playing that side of the floor. Sure, we talked about the three-pointers of Dave or what have you, but it's the defense really that's starting things off for the Abra Weavers.
Cruz Dumont, though, could not complete the three-point play opportunity. Bakers doesn't lead for the Weavers over the Brotherhood, 32-19. Kid Aryar gives it back to JJ Caspe for three off the heel. Cruz Dumont the rebound for Abra. Gonzalez offering that screen, rolls inside. Great two-man game between Cruz Dumont and Raven Gonzalez. UE Lasal connection right there as Gonzalez will shoot to the line.
Isa na yan sa pinakamagandang naging development nito ni Raven Gonzalez. I mean, that slip action, that screen action, and that catch and shot attempt, catch, survey, look the other side of the floor. He's been so good at that, and for every game that he's played, nakikita mo na elevate palagi yung reads and decision making nito ni Raven Gonzalez. Just a testament on how much IQ this young guy has in himself.
Still had 2 years of playing eligibility for LaSalle but opted to go pro. It turned out to be a great decision for him.
Yes, I think he's reaping the benefits of that decision too, and that choice. And according to Coach Jerry Andeleon, walang pagod matuto yung bata. He just wants to be learning some more.
Serrano pounding the ball hard, gets straight to the cup. And just contact, 2 free throws coming up for Encho.
And Joshua David, in my opinion, is half of the reason why I say the Weavers have not yet picked. I think there's more upside to a Joshua David usage this season. The other half, you know who? CJ Austria.
Silang dalawa, no?
Silang dalawa. I mean, those two, when they come together and play together, and, you know, palitan with the Encho Serrano and the Cruz Dumont, lalim nung guardiang rotation na yan.
Serrano missing the first free throw. The second free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
Ang nagiging challenge lang talaga kay Encho Serrano so far this season, yung mga three-point shooting niya. The perimeter makes generally been okay. He's 49% from the perimeter. It's the threes that's actually pulling down yung percentage nito ni Encho Serrano.
2 homerunns coming in, Garcia and Jorel Gonzalez. Field goal shooting, Abra with 63% conversion of their field goals. 33% lamang para sa Imus. Sasalaksak si Errol Soriano, nakabigwit ng foul laban sa Abra. Second foul called on Raven Gonzalez.
And you see on that missed defensive coverage, immediately Raven goes to Coach Young, and Coach Young gives him tips on how to recover on that situation.
Soriano, pasok yung unang free throw. 2 for 2 at the line, 35-21. So the 3 Lasallians plus 2 homegrowns ang unit ni Coach Yong sa loob para sa Abra Weavers.
Alam mo, I wanted to ask that question for so long.
Alin, Coach?
Back in our younger years,
O sige, Coach.
ang tawag nila sa mga Tagalasal is Lasalites. How did that transition to Lasallians? Did you know?
Hindi ko din alam, Coach.
Ganun na nung pagdating mo, no?
Lasallians lang naabot ko eh.
So okay, fine. Sige. Sorry na.
So Piano able to get past the defense for the layup. Pero narinig ko na yung Lasa Lights.
Last lights before eh.
Gonzales pumukol sa 3, wala. Bola nakuha ng Imus.
They're running chin. Was probably a Princeton action here.
Ayar, former Letran Knight, no. Foul called on CJ Austria on that rebounding battle.
Yeah, I'd like to correct myself. That was not pinch action. That's really more of a horns play or that chin play call para dito sa Imus.
Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
And you have to reward the big man that runs the lane, middle of the floor. Kasi bihirang mangyari yan. And so you have to find them. And so that the next time around, they continue to play that way and cut to those open space. Oh, wow.
Gonzales sending that back to the friend zone.
First of 2 guaranteed blocks for the game.
Kalahati na ng average niya agad, si
Oo.
Raven.
At saka help side eh, no?
Yeah. Belenchon with a jumper. David pushing it. Garcia drifts left and makes that shot from around 15 feet.
And somehow, this seems to be how they've been rewarding the players for playing defense para dito sa Abra Weavers. You get a stop, that's free basketball. You get to do open floor. Oh, wow.
Ang bilis ng Abra, coach. From end to end.
Nakikita ko si Raven.
Nandun na agad.
Pantong kaagad. Imagine he blocks situations where he blocks a shot on one end of the floor, then Rim runs it the other side and finishes middle of the lane.
I don't think they played that way at least in their first 2 or 3 games.
Yes.
Mas deliberate pa yung pace nila nun. But since that loss to Pasay, you know, there's a different pep to their step.
Well, after nung talo nila na yon, it's just been a different Devil Defonso that we've seen, a different Abra team that we've seen. They would say na nung heading into the Holy Week break, hindi sila masyado nakapag-practice, and so when they came back, medyo may rough edges in that game against Cebu. But boy, how they progressed after nagkaroon na sila ng steady stream of preparations. That's when I feel the gelling and the chemistry has really evolved for the Abra Weavers.
Meanwhile, let's go courtside with Gianna Lianes.
Undisciplined ang salita na ginamit ni Coach Britt in describing his team's performance last loss. Kwento niya na his team really didn't play the way they prepared during that game against Marikina. In his words, hindi pwede na we are physically present but not mentally present. But they will aim to show that mental fortitude this game to redeem themselves. The goal right now, get points from their own defensive efforts by limiting the scoring of Abra's wings and being in control of rebounding. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Gia. You know, it's pretty unfortunate that Coach Britt wasn't around to help them physically there. And, you know, to his point, parang andali kasi for Marikina to get those points. As a result, naging high-scoring affair and to the detriment of the Imus Brotherhood. And now here, they're having trouble dealing with this vaunted unit of Coach Yong Garcia.
First off, that pass was too low. It's going to be tough to even catch it. And you turn the ball over, they're going to make you pay.
Labang ng 18 ang Abra kontra Imus, 44-26. Special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. And for Imus, their next 3 games, June 14 against Parañaque, on the 21st against the Rizal Central Mall Golden Coolers, And on June 26, makakalaban nila ang Bacolod Tubo Slashers.
At saka sayang talaga yung game na yon para sa sa Imus Brotherhood. Tama nga yung sabi ni Coach Britt, for the most part, it almost looked like it was only JJ Caspe that was working lalo in that third and fourth quarter run where he scored 17, 12 and 15 points. Yung iba halos bumigay na pero parang halos si JJ na lang ang kumakarga sa team na yun that point.
And also, if you allow Nem de la Cruz to score 32 points on your team, that's a recipe for disaster if you're Imus.
Especially, that three, that left side corner three has, for the most part, been the least guarded spot on the floor for the Imus Brotherhood. They keep getting pulled to that right side of the floor, and everybody's on the help side, nobody covering the weak side.
Chupalpal ni Batino yung tirang yon ni Belencion. CJ Austria lost steam on his way up. Imus down by 21 points. Doligon attacks, absorbs contact. Will head to the line for 2 free throws after getting fouled by Garcia.
Wala na lang talagang lift si Mark Doligon, pero ang ganda ng pagkaka-timing niya nung pasok doon sa loob na yon. He, floated a little bit yung dribble na yon before he attacked middle.
Pasok din sa loob. Sa unang pagkakataon si Jason Apolonio. Palalim, no?
Oh my God. We totally forgot about Jason Apolonio. We haven't seen John Oduba.
Mintis yung unang free throw ni Mark Doligon. Nung sakit kasi, for Imus, yung pagkatalo nila sa Marikina. Kasi yung Basilan, yung nasa baba nila, unti-unti na umaangat yun. They're now at 6 and 7 after that win against Mindoro. Batangas still struggling, but they're still at 7 and 7. Ang dami lang kadikit at that bottom part of the South Division, Coach Mike. And nandun sila sa play-in area, that 9 to 10 spot up for grabs. And kung if ever, papunta tayo sa dulo, dikit-dikit sila. That loss against Marikina could prove really costly for Imus.
But that 3-game win streak for Basilan has really allowed that gap to be a little bit closer with them and Imus. And Imus losing a couple in succession. Mga kadun, may singil yan sa dulo, di ba?
Sa isa pa kasi, for Basilan, puro mabibigat yung mga nakalaban nilang simula eh. I mean, of course, no disrespect to the other teams. But on paper...
it's just the higher tiered teams that they went up against. Kumbaga, yung mga above 500 karamihan yung mga nakalaban nila eh.
And the way they're playing right now, pwede silang magtuloy-tuloy dito.
Quick shout out to Anton Mejia. Happy viewing, sir.
Sino ba yun?
Yung katabi mo.
Ay, tabi ko.
Kanina pa nanonood dyan.
Ganun ba? Kanina tayo pinapanood, no? Hindi yung laro.
Pinanonood at pinoprotektahan. Yan.
Ay, mabuting kaibigan natin yan. Si Mr. Anton Mejia.
Oo naman.
JJ Caspe scoring his 5th point. 49-29. 20-point lead.
At saka sa isang aspeto, you cannot solely just be dependent on JJ Caspe.
Yeah. That shot good. One of the homegrowns for Abra just scored. That's Waldo. And that does it here in the first half. Imus having all sorts of problems laban dito sa Abra Weavers. Play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Ang ganda ng pagkaka-jump stop doon ni JJ Caspe off that pass by Ryusei Koga. Good play for the Imus Brotherhood.
Score natin at the half, 51 for Abra, 29 for Imus.
knockout is a storm. Another huge left hand by Pacquiao. Punch after punch after punch. And he got the straight left hand. And there's the punching down. Look at the brilliant accuracy of Manny Pacquiao. Landing with both right and left hands. This is why we use the word sensation.
Manalang gets it back. 8 seconds to work with. They go to Giab against Capulong. Nice fake by Giab. Atake ni Josh Giab! What a move from Josh Giab! Look at the move from Josh Giab. The shot fake. And lets Capulong fly by with that hang time move.
And the thing is, may nakadig pa si si Mitch Maynes.
Olegario drives right at Jego Dario. Finds a way. Oh my! Hindi ko alam paano nagawa ng paraan ni J. Olegario yun. I could not even find him. Could not even see him. 3 players against J.R. Olegario.
Hindi mo na nga makita.
Kaya nga.
Plus 10 ang Pasay, 14-4. Cyrus Stabby quietly has been having a solid season.
What a pass.
And what a pass. Like you said, papunta kay AJ Coronel.
And that's with the left hand. Usually, players are good with their strong hand, no? Yung mga magagaling pumasa. And this one, though, using the left hand for that behind the back in tight space.
4-point lead para sa Abra. Taiwan. Ildefonso, oh what a move! Dave Ildefonso able to elude the defense. At ito yung magandang galaw ni Dave Ildefonso.
And that's just muscle memory para dito kay Dave Ildefonso.
Risers with a glimmer of hope. Kani. Kani for 3! Oh! Hubert Kani, I tell you, never count the Risers out, especially here on their home floor.
That's right. He rose up with those hands. Challenged by Philip Manalang, still knocked it down.
Pasay looks like they're getting a win here after back-to-back losses. Oh, Adlawan could certainly dunk. He'll try for that, and he does! Slam jam for Dolan Adlawan.
Pasok na sa top 3 yun, yung dakdak na yun. Maybe the number 1 play.
They trap Pido. He goes to Himpayan. Waray finds Pingris for the hammer.
Oh boy! Me, oh my! Mark Pingris!
What a slam galing kay Mark Pingris. He went up there.
To Coach Stephen Mopera's playbook that he could have more playing time for Parañaque in the coming games.
Pido. Oh! The exclamation point to this one!
May pahabol pa!
Nawala tuloy headset ko. Nagulat ako.
That's the first time I've actually seen somebody in the panel lose their headset after a dunk.
Ibang klase naman kasi out of nowhere. And Warlo Batak.
Mina against Darang. 5 seconds to work with. Mina fires a 3. Good! Alan Mina! 10 points in the game. And a clutch basket for the Cowboys.
Boy, and what you love about this, the guys on Ilagan, the Cowboys, clutch after clutch.
They have been fouled as well there.
Yup, didn't get to land on where he's supposed to.
Yes.
Oh my.
Big time shot galing kay Allen for 2. 10 seconds on the shot clock for Bataan. Mitchell with the in and out dribble. Mitchell, what a finish! What a finish! And I thought I was watching Dr. J right there. The in and out dribble. Maynes gets deep and adjusts, contorts, and just lays it in with some English. What a spectacular move from Mitchell Maynes.
Dr. J-like, if you ask me.
Ang ating talaan after the first 2 quarters, 51 para sa Abra Solid North Weavers, 29 points lamang para dito sa Imus Brotherhood. And Coach Mike, nakita natin Abra picking up from where they left off against Quezon and doing it with defense.
Oh, nagsisimula na naman sa depensa. This time allowing only 29 points through 2 quarters para dito sa Imus. And at the same time, shooting 57% from the field and plus 9 in terms of assists. And the more inside points, got a lot of help from the bench. Just shows you the depth and the kind of a profound team this Abra Weavers has been this season.
And Imus simply had no answers to this hot start by Abra, and the homegrowns have chipped in para dito sa Abra. Jorah Gonzalez, couple of threes to buoy itong Abra. And the 2 Gonzalez's, 6 points each for Abra. Dave Ildefonso as usual leading the pack with 13, Marquis with 7. Para naman dito sa Imus, hirap na hirap talaga silang makapuntos dito, no? And JJ Caspe has been held in check. And only 5 points alongside Mark Doligo and Kint Aryar with 6. Reggie Boy Basibas may 4 para dito sa Brotherhood. And naunahan agad itong Imus, nitong Abra. And you know, for Imus, this is danger zone for them because we saw their stretch of games. They're going up against Parañaque in their next game. But, you know, the loss here could really make themselves fall down even further sa South Division standings natin, Coach Mike.
And if there is one good time to wake up, I think this is the game that they have to start waking up and start competing. It's tough to say that, especially if you go up against a very efficient and a really defensive-oriented team in the Abra Weavers. But at the very least, go out and compete because you're gonna bring whatever effort that you've gotten out of the result of this game to your next incoming games. And so, the hope is magkaroon ng feel good kahit na regardless of kung ano yung magiging result itong game na to.
Third quarter underway, bola ng Imus. Caspe immediately going to work. Gets fouled. He'll go to the line for 2 shots.
Ang ano lang dyan, ang watch out lang if you're the Brotherhood team, you cannot be solely dependent on a JJ Caspe. We've seen that even if he scores 46 points, you still would lose games. And so others gotta help and step up, not just offensively, but more importantly, defensively.
Actually, kahit si Kit Aryar, Reggie Boy Basibas, maganda yung nilaro eh. Pero yun yung nakakatakot kasi ang ganda na nga nun nilaro nung tatlo, natalo ka pa sa Marikina.
Correct. And it has to be, you know, total team effort talaga. Everybody's gotta chip in and help out.
And, you know, Coach Britt mentioned it, yung lack of effort, you know, the defense was suboptimal to say the least in that game. As Caspe forcing his way in, off the glass, it goes.
On the other side naman, maganda naman dito, pagsubok din dito sa Abra Weavers because you have a really good scorer in JJ Caspe who just came off a 46-point game, and to test your defensive stuff on how do you stop the guy.
Wilkin Lee. Ildefonso drives, goes up strong, and he'll head to the line for 2 shots. Dave Ildefonso. Soriano. Basically nothing he could do on that trip. Gixer, great move of the game. Born for greatness, JJ Caspe. Despite the contact, able to score. Ildefonso making his first free throw for Abra.
And Ildefonso had what? 13 points in the first half on 3 of 5 3-point shooting. And surely that's not gonna stop.
Errol Soriano, Kit Ariar, Reggie Boy Basibas, Rusey Koga, and JJ Caspe, the unit for Coach Britt. Ariar posting up. That shot is short. Same lineup the start of the game for Abra to begin the third. Taiwan, Ildefonso, Batino, Marquis, and Wilkin Lee. Ildefonso off the dribble, fades away, and just nothing Errol Soriano could do to stop Dave.
Well, you know why? Because he's made threes in the first half. You really cannot give him that space. If he's standing with the ball in the 3-point area, you can't allow that space in between you and him because he's very capable to mira. Now, if you close out and you guard him, overplay him, he's gonna put the ball on the floor and work on his dribble penetrations.
Caspe gets into the gut of the defense. Draws another foul. And you like how JJ Caspe has been constantly putting pressure on the defense.
Yeah. But a lot of it has been more one-on-one ISO ball. And they're getting us out assisted here. It's a plus 11 advantage para dito sa Abra Weavers in that department. And so how much more can you rely on the bag of JJ Caspe offensively?
Ildefonso pushing it. Pinagpag lang yung depensa ni Soriano but could not finish.
That's the best defense you can offer, in my opinion, to a Dave Ildefonso. Force him to go the left side of the floor and finish with the other hand.
Great pass. Back to Dave. Mark Yee completes that impressive fast break attack by Abra.
Ganda ng ball movement na yun. And for Markey to be running that length of the floor, you have to be parang aware of where he is now because he's not just gonna wait around on the other side habang tumatakbo yung mga young legs nila. Sumasabay din si Markey.
Yeah. And he was the one leading the huddle at the half. As Ildefonso got fouled by Quintariar.
That's what's gonna happen. Technically, if you're gonna be going up against Dave Ildefonso, you will be tempted to challenge his 3-point shooting.
Play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
You know yun, Kent Ariar was running behind Marquis, and they almost had the same starting point on the other side of the floor. Just full commitment by Marquis to the schemes of the Abra Weavers.
Both free throws knocked down by Dave. One more coming up. Fouled while taking a 3-point shot. Ildefonso. 20 points.
If he starts converting his free throws in a really good clip, right now he's at 66%. 70 is gonna be fine. 70 is fine. So sobrang lapit na. And how do you stop him now? He's what? 56% from the perimeter, 35% from 3, roughly 70% from the free throw. Either way, you pick your poison. He's gonna put points on the board.
Kahit mga 75 yan, laking bagay na yan.
Oh.
Wilkin Lee with a free 30 points. Ang lamang ngayon ng Abra kontra sa Imus.
Yeah. One of your leading 3-point shooters itong si Wilkin Lee. 36% per game from 3. And just the trust that he's gonna sink it from there.
3-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances. And Imus desperately needs this timeout. They're down by a huge margin here. Special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. This has turned into a rout. Abra just continuing to pouring it on. Magandang paghahanda sa laban nila sa Banggit Abra muli. Laban sa Pangasinan Heatwaves on the 14th, on June 23, laban sa Quezon City Galleries Taipan. And to cap off the month of June, kalaban nila ang Caloocan Batang Kangkalu.
Tingin ko magandang matchup yon, yung Pangasinan na yon with the Abra Weavers. Maybe length of the floor action, foot speed, it might be advantaged by the Abra Weavers, but it really depends on how Hesed Gabo and the other guards of the Heatwaves are gonna play that. I mean, you're going up against Mac Talio, Hesed Gabo, even Ralph Robin and King Gortiza. Those are very capable runners para sa Pangasinan.
Siyempre, for Pangasinan, meron din siyang Vic Manuel, Mike Mabulak, Joray Napoles.
Yun ang magandang itest din, yung interior defense nila. And then this time around, Mark Doligon doing good in that matchup against Batino. And if we've named those bigs, I feel it's gonna test Batino, Raven Gonzalez, John Oduba. Lalo na magandang test yung para kay Raven because, big, very strong bodied big men para dito sa Heatwaves that he's gonna go up against.
65-35, 30 points the lead. Errol Soriano back to JJ Caspe. Caspe turns the corner but can't finish at the cup. Tatakbo si Wilkin Lee using his left hand. Mark Yee doubles up that rebound. Pass to Dave. Banks it in from free. Kumindat sa akin.
Noon siya rin sa bank shot niya. But, it's the arc of the shot. And that's the beauty of, you know how Steph Curry does that as well, yung tumatama sa board and goes glass. It's really, in my opinion, because of the height of the ball when it left his hand. And you're gonna get that benefit, I guess. Lalo na kung diretso naman yung tira mo.
Alright, he called it. He called bank on a Saturday. Dave Ildefonso.
Called bank on a Saturday in Quezon.
Oo. Bumagsak si Marky. Foul will be called on Imus. Sibas called for that foul. Again in foul trouble with free si Reggie Boy. Ganda ng performance niya sa Marikina pero nag-foul out siya nung overtime.
Yes, that's right. Naubos din kasi siya dun sa lahat ng activity sa loob. We talked about it in the absence of Mark Doligon and Reggie Boy was really working double time alongside sila Acunio, diba?
Oo. Ray Acuno. Wala nga si Ray Acuno doon, saka si Mark Doligon.
Oh yeah, it's Acuno pala. Right.
Serrano comes in. Apolonio, Jack Cruz Dumont, Jorel Gonzalez, and Raven. The unit here for Coach Yong. Encho kicks it out to Jason Apolonio. Stumbles but recovers. Can't get it though. Koga putting on the Jets. Bounce pass. Basibas able to glide in despite the contact and score.
What a finish by Reggie Boy Basibas. Iba rin talaga yung bit-bit ni Reggie Boy para dito sa Imus Brotherhood.
Very athletic naman kasi yan eh.
Oo.
From UST pa lang.
That's a good IQ.
Yeah,
That's
isa
what
pa
I love
yun.
about him, you know. Hindi ganun kaingay maglaro and makes the right reads and decisions.
Toligon barrels through the lane and he drew a foul. Fast break of the game brought to you by Extreme X Pop. Personal karaoke speaker, everyday karaoke. Like a ballerina in the air. Reggie Boy Basibas. Toligon good on this first free throw.
Doligon had 5 in the first quarter, in the first half.
Yeah. 10 out of 14 from the line are the Imus Brotherhood. But this is a massive lead they have to overcome right now. 68-42, 26 points separating these two squads. Serrano, babangga. Bola napunta kay Basibas. After that, Serrano miss. Toligon, matulis yung tira. Running start for Jorel Gonzalez. Nasundutan sa likod ni JJ Caspe. Forward pass, papunta kay Reggie Boy Basibas. Up fake, challenging Raven Gonzalez. Bagsak si Basibas. Helter-skelter basketball here. Toligon able to track it down. The block by Apolonio. On the other side, Cruz Dumont sizing up the defense of Ariar. Bola natapik palabas, mananatili sa panig ng Abra.
So far, Imus Brotherhood have come back defensively and made it tough for the Weavers to score. I feel it started when they just allowed that left side of the floor drive para dito sa Weavers. I don't think they've scored going left itong Weavers. Just been tougher for them to finish kesa sa straight line layup. If you're gonna allow just straight line drives, you know you're not a really good defensive team. But if you make it difficult for them to get inside the paint and finish, then you would have already done your job. Pumasok man yun o hindi, kung nahirapan tumira, goods na yun.
Definitely much better yung energy pinapakita ngayon ng Imus.
Yeah, I agree. Oh.
Kagaya niyan, hindi sila nag-aalinlangan kahit pa may shot blocker sa ilalim.
Pero gusto kong pansinin mo yung depensa ni Raven Gonzalez. He picked up Mark Doligon from the outside and used that foot speed to keep in pace with Mark. One might say, well, hindi naman ganun kabilis si Mark Doligon compared to Raven Gonzalez, but the mere fact that Raven was there trying to close out and stayed with it just shows you his commitment sa depensa.
I think that's gonna be the challenge, Coach Mike, for Raven, how he will defend in space. Because, you know, those looming matchups, well, yung una pa lang sa Pangasinan, of course, you have Vic Manuel, who could definitely space the floor. It could be him who could be tasked to guard him, or Marquis. Pero Mike Mabulak, nandyan din.
That is right.
And then pagdating sa Nueva Ecija, pag nakalaban nila, Robbie Celis.
That is right. At saka, if in my observation, when you play basketball, you're playing length of the floor, you're talking about speed, you're talking about pace. But as you approach the paint, it's power that starts taking over. I mean, if you're not going to be strong enough inside the paint, regardless of how quickly you got to that spot, you know, wala ka namang power, hirapan kang dumepensa, di ba? Vic Manuel, alam naman natin yun, he will draw you out. And if you bite in, he will bully you inside. And how much of a power do you have solo coverage to go up against the Vic? And I'm pretty sure they're gonna send somebody over to help out Raven at that point.
Alam mo, Coach Mike, si Joren Gonzalez, kanina pa namumugo doon sa left corner pocket. That's his third triple from that same spot, that left side.
And so now he's 3 out of 5 from 3. He had 6 in the first half. Well, he played parang 5 minutes. Pero Caspe, pumupukol din, ha?
Nakaputas, galing sa tres. His first 3-point make that his second for a total of 12 points.
Well, sa totoo, may mga larong na cover natin itong Abra Weavers where Wilkin, Lee, Baldo, and even Gonzalez have really good shot making, ano?
Oo. Sa napapatunayan nila ngayon for Abra, Coach Mike, na hindi lang sila basta yung homegrown para lang, alam mo yon, fillers.
Right. Agree.
They're contributing
Mhm.
in limited minutes for Coach Yong Garcia as Koga.
Oh!
Missing a gimme.
Oh, man.
Serrano gives it up to Apolonio. Easy pickings on the other side.
Dating magkakampi sa Giant Lanterns yan.
Won a championship together back in Season 5.
Yeah, tama. Correct.
Toligon, one-hander, fading away. No. Apolonio the rebound, sends it to Encho Serrano.
At napakagandang kwento niyan kung si Encho Serrano knocked down another three. That is the 9th three-pointer here for the Abra Weavers. And it would be a really nice story if the Weavers eventually end up with the cup and those homegrowns help out.
Yeah. Mark Toligon, open three-pointer knockdown. 78-49. 7 seconds remaining. Jack Cruz to Bont. Can't get it from downtown, and third quarter comes to an end. Abra dominating performance thus far. Highlights of the game brought to you by Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration.
And so that quarter really was about better shooting for the Abra Weavers, getting more threes, getting better in terms of rebounds itong Imus, but the assists have really been a key separator in this match, including this glass three by David Defonso, to which he gave us a wink. And it says the bank's open here in Quezon, even at this time of the day and this day of the week.
David Defonso, total of 25 points once again. Abra heading into the fourth with a 29-point lead. Fan of the Game is brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Maligayang kaarawan sa ating mabuting kaibigan na si Ronnie Andrade. And some of the fans here anticipating the game later on ng kanilang Quezon Huskers, mga kalaban nila, ang Caloocan Batang Kangkalu. Ken Panglinan, kasama niyo po with Coach Mike Perez, and at courtside we have Miss Gianna Lianes. Fourth quarter between Abra and Imus. Quarter scoring po natin. It's been all Abra, plus 13, plus 9, plus 7. And sa pagsisimula ng fourth, nakabutas agad si Encho Serrano.
And despite us saying na nagkaroon ng little run where the Imus Brotherhood made it difficult for the Weavers to score with forcing them going left side of the floor. Still, pagdating sa points per possession, lamang pa rin yung Abra Weavers because of they had what, 3 3-pointers in that quarter.
Those 46 points were incredible from JJ Caspe. We witnessed that firsthand, Coach Mike, in Abra. And ang kakaiba pa dun, may mga namintis din siyang mga free throws in overtime eh. Could have had 50.
Yeah. At saka dun, impressive dun, Ken, yung yung sunod-sunod eh. Yung puntos, di ba? Sino mo ilan yun? Parang 12 ba yun? 12 points in one quarter and then 13 the second. Oh!
That time drawing a foul, attacking the defense. JJ Caspe pala is from Calapan, Mindoro.
Yes.
Diba? Played for his hometown, Mindoro, Tamaraos last season.
Actually, I was surprised that he left Mindoro, understanding that he's a homegrown. But syempre, guys gotta look out for their own careers, and maybe wanting to explore other stuff as well for JJ Caspe.
At nung nawala nga si Paul Desiderio, eventually, he went to Abra, si Paul. Doon nagkaroon ng opportunity to blossom. Ito si JJ Caspe. And he had a late surge for Mindoro last year.
Tsaka kinuha na talaga yung pagkakataon na yun. And really just, that's making the most out of the situation that you're in.
Jerome Ong kasama si JJ Caspe, JP Belencion, Carlos Sumabat, and Kit Ariar. Sumabat, the one-hander. Doesn't work. Jack Cruz Dumont goes up strong for the layup.
If you're to compare the Abra Weavers versus in that last game against Quezon, I think yung naging difference doon was the shot making, yung scoring. The threes were, in my opinion, taken away from the Quezon Huskers because of yung depensa nga nitong Weavers.
And, for Quezon, as JCD with a three, that's part of their game. Launching those threes. And basically, Abra took that away from them in that game in Abra.
Kaya nga, you have to imagine the effort of the Abra Weavers on those closeouts, challenging those threes.
Fast break of the game, brought to you by Extreme Cool Air Conditioners. Ang Extreme magpalamig, free installation for split-type air conditioners.
Almost half of the shots of the Quezon in that game were actually coming from three. And so, 24 times they challenged those shots, itong Abra Weavers.
Caspe piling up the points. He's up to 17 to go along with 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. But this lead still massive at 31. One-hander will go in for Raven Gonzalez.
Right now, much as this is a huge lead here for the Abra Weavers, scoring-wise, nakita mo, ang laki pa rin ng impact ni David Defonso. He's 25 points. The next guy, the next best scoring guy is Encho Serrano, who's got 10. But they do have some other guys that's scoring more than 5 points. And that shows, in my opinion, shows you the variety of ways that the Weavers can actually score.
Serrano, 3-point play opportunity completed with a total of 13. Let's go at courtside to Miss Gianna.
Kahit na ito ang pangalawang season ni Coach Yong Garcia as head coach of Abra, it's the first season naman daw ng iba nilang players to be a part of the team. Kaya they took advantage of their first home game last week. Nag-ikot daw sila sa Kaparkan Falls at Apao Rolling Hills during their free time. Places only Abra can offer daw. Coach Yong adds na malaking morale boost daw na nakalaro sila sa Abra. It helped the players look forward to more home games as opportunities to showcase their talents in front of the Abreños. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Gianna. And giving something to be happy about, yung mga Abreños, they performed really well. That was a highly anticipated matchup. Last year kasi undefeated din sila, Coach Mike, but yung level of competition, no disrespect to those teams, as compared to Quezon coming into this season, that was a big-time game, and they were able to rise to the occasion in front of the hometown fans in Banguet, Abra.
And they totally, in my opinion, took away some key scorers para sa Quezon Huskers in that game. Much as Jodel scored, I think 12 or 15 in the second quarter. He's just been almost non-existent in the second half, and that's how tough it's been for them. They did keep that game close, pero every time they come a little bit closer, there's gonna be a run by the Weavers. Kaya naman sulit na sulit yung pag-aantay talaga ng mga fans ng mga Abreño doon.
Masibas inside, nakabingwit ng foul laban sa Abra. Alam mo, side note lang meron palang mga napuntahan sila doon, binanggit ni Jake. May falls pala dun sa Abra.
Meron.
Napuntahan mo na?
Hindi, nakwento nila, na-feature nila I think in the video from last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Itong free throw na ito atid sa atin na Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
Tsaka yung yung parang safari ride na rough road, what have you. Curiously, I've gone there. I like to correct myself. I said I was there 4 times. I was there 3 times actually. That was my 3rd time
Okay.
last week. But I've never gone to those places. And so we'll see.
Dami pa namang pagkakataon, Coach Mike.
Oo.
Baka naman.
But we did have it was a quicker ride pa uwi, ano?
Ang bilis ang
nung
biyahe.
gabi. 6 hours lang kami nagbiyahe. That was really quick. May stopover na yun, ha?
Yun nga eh. Kami, 7 hours. Ang daming stopover. May tinigilan pa kami. I think we were there for around probably 5 to 10 minutes.
So is it correct for me to think na every time may makita kang kainan, nagyaya kang kumain? Ganun ba yun? Kaya maraming stopover?
Hindi, nahiya pa ako eh. Baka next time, magayahan ako kumain.
Oo.
De, sa totoo lang, siyempre, ano na namin, kumbaga we were looking forward already to get back home.
Yeah.
Because that was a weekend. Siyempre, misis ko naghihintay sa bahay.
Oo nga.
Dumating ako mga 7 a.m.
Kaya ako ganun, para hindi na magantay si Mrs. Sinama ko
Sinama mo na. Tayo magaling eh.
No,
JP Pelenchon fouled.
Yeah, but we did have fun there.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Tsaka yung energy ng venue eh.
Yeah.
I mean, parang mid of the first game pa lang, nagsisimula na pumasok yung mga tao. It was very organized. Tickets were in place. Well, some of the other host teams naman also do that. Pero parang iba yung bilis nung pagpuno nung doon eh. No? Talagang inaabangan yung MPBL.
At may bali-balita na magkaroon sila ng mas malaking home court in La Paz. It's probably roughly 10 minutes away from the town of Bangued. Just further up north.
Correct. Parang size-wise, parang sinasabi na parang times 3, times 4.
6,000 eh.
Yeah, di ba?
Kasi ang capacity yata ng Governor Andres Bernos Gymnasium is 2,000.
Yeah, 2.
So tama, times 3.
Times 3, right.
And man, that 6,000 strong basketball crazy Abra fans. That's gonna be quite an atmosphere if ever it comes to fruition.
Yan yung mga fans ni Redel Fabro doon na mga kamag-anak, kaibigan, kaklase, kalaro, siguradong matutuwa at mapanood itong sila Redel Fabro doon sa kanilang panibagong gymnasium na tinatayo.
Si Redel is from Ilocos, di ba?
I don't know, I'm not sure.
Ang alam ko Ilocos siya eh.
But he's declared as homegrown sa Abra.
Baka he moved in there. But he was originally from Ilocos. We'll confirm that. As this game is brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Hit Aryar from the elbow. Lista mo na yan.
A good setup on the baseline out of bounds. Feed it to the elbow. Have a weak side guy move to the ball side and have him catch and shoot it.
All right, moving forward, Coach Mike. We've seen Abra have this impressive run. This is, a miracle. Unless a miracle happens here for Imus if they come back. This is gonna be their 11th straight victory para dito sa Weavers. And heading into that matchup against Pangasinan, what do you think are some of the things that they could still work on as they prepare for that big-time showdown?
I feel the defense is already there, but I do know that Coach Young is not going to be very, satisfied with every game that they played. He feels there's always going to be that next level. Me personally, as a fan or as a watcher of the games, I really am curious on when CJ Austria and Joshua David would finally tandem, just like how they did in LaSalle, right? And yun yung hinahanap ko eh. Because when they formed this team and I was told that CJ and Joshua would be playing alongside each other, I said to myself, man, that's a backcourt that you would want to have if you're the Weavers.
Play of the game brought to you by 1xBet. title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Diba, napakalaking bagay nun kung ang tanong lang naman dyan kailan?
May maibalita muna tayo kay Gianna Lianes.
Kid Aguiar shares about a tough moment during his basketball career where he was unexpectedly removed from his college team. Kwento niya, noong panahon na yon, pinag-isipan na niya ang buhay na walang basketball, possibly working at a hotel or even abroad daw. Pati kung saan na siya titira ay naging problema daw niya. Pero ang kanyang coaches daw ang sumagip sa kanya. They gave him a place to stay and would even train him personally to make sure he doesn't give up on his basketball dreams. Kaya ngayon, aminado si Kint na he's still building up his self-confidence dito sa MPBL, but remembering the trust his coaches through all of his years of basketball have given him is his best motivation. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, G. And Kent Aryar eventually had that productive stint with the Electron Knights and even won a championship under Coach Bonitan. And you know those stories na walang natitiran, totoo yun.
Oo.
Kent Aryar, basket and one opportunity here.
Tsaka ano yan ang daming ganyang stories just like Kent Aryar, and you love how, players who get past it, just like how Kent has done.
Swiss Army knife, Kent Aryar. And he's one of the bright spots so far dito sa Imus. Another all-around performance. LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL.
Well, he had 6 in the first half. Currently, he's got 9.
9, 8, and 5. Sorry, 9 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists.
5 assists, right, and 2 blocks.
Yep.
And those are pretty good numbers.
And just to bounce off on Gianna's report about that, as Austria gets fouled here, naalala ko, nakakwentuhan ko for Bacolod, si Mark Dubois. So, he was supposed to play for, I think, St. Clair in college.
Kay Coach Gino.
Kay Coach Gino. And then, ang problema niya kasi, wala siyang matirhan. Ang nangyari kasi sa kanya noon, Coach Mike, remember, nung Bacolod sila Marky, kasama siya doon. Bit-bit nila sila doon. And then, nandun na nga siya sa Manila. He was hoping that he could find a college to try out and play for. And then, it just so happened na kinailangan bumalik nila Marky and Bacolod because they had a home game in the MPBL for Bacolod. So, they have to fly back to Bacolod for that home game. Wala nga matiran si Mark and wala siyang choice. So he eventually joined Marky and the rest of the gang back to Bacolod. And yung dreams niya of playing in college for Manila, hindi na yun natuloy. But, alam mo, God's really works in mysterious ways. Yung perfect timing. Now he's with Bacolod. He's gotten that opportunity and he has pounced on that, being one of the main guys for the Tubo Slashers.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. I mean, Dubois, with how he's performed for the Tubo Slashers, they've given them a lot of lift on the guard position. Maybe young, but nakikita mo yung compete, no? Hindi umaatras kahit kanino, and a very able leader para sa kanila, and having to learn the game, as you see Soriano finish in the paint, having to learn the game from Coach Pao and Coach Noy. Napakalaking pagkakataon yon para kay Mark.
Soriano, pinagpag lang yung depensa doon. 3-point play opportunity. And now it's the homegrowns coming in. Jorel Gonzalez. Baldo is also there. Wilkin Lee. Wilkin Lee also played last season for the Abra Weavers. From Lagang Ilang, Abra, to si Wilkin Lee. This is Harold Bardo inside. Jason Apolonio slides in. And Abra also breaching the century mark.
Speaking of Wilkin Lee, I'm sure ang daming mga taga-suporta niya na sa Abra that someday would look forward that he would be maybe far from being a Dave Ildefonso, but at least to a level where he's going to be a key rotation piece and getting more minutes for the Abra Weavers.
Last 2 minutes, 24-point lead. Make that 27 after Gonzalez putting in his fourth free. Bartoligon with a mid-range jumper for Imus. The free fall continues. This is gonna be their fourth loss in their last 5 games. And after a promising start, Coach Mike, they had that big win against Mindoro. It seems like they have fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, and it's been a rough ride. This is gonna be 3-game losing streak.
Oo.
In this impending loss to the Abra Weavers. And something's gotta change if you're now the Imus Brotherhood. You're middle of the pack. You don't want to sink any deeper, and so that hindi ganun kakomplikado yung maging sitwasyon mo. And you still got time. Most of the teams have what? Almost half of their games already played.
Yeah.
So you've got that much amount of games to still change things for you.
Bartoligon, one-hander does not work. The good news for Imus right now is despite this loss, they're gonna be 6-9. Below them, puro mga 4 wins pa lang yan eh. Davao, Sarangani, Cebu. So they're still at number 10, just right in that play-in spot. Pero, yun nga eh, kailangan magkaroon na sila ng sense of urgency. They have Paranaque coming up. And, that's supposed to be a winnable game, but they just lost to Marikina in Abra. So, anything can happen.
That and at some point you might think that, oh, what a block by Wilkin Lee.
Wow.
So gotta think that magkakaroon ng situation na yung faith mo is also based on how the other teams perform, and you don't want that to happen. You want to be totally in control on where you want to land. And so at this point, I think they're already in a win as many games as you can situation itong Imus Brotherhood.
Diyan po nagtatapos ang ating pangalawang laro. Abra Weavers handily taking care of business against the Imus Brotherhood, notching their 11th straight victory in preparation for that big-time matchup against the Pangasinan Heatwaves back in their turf in Bangued, Abra, and this guy continues to amaze us. Best player of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Well, eventually ending up with 25 points on an 8 of 12 shooting. We went 4 out of 7 from 3, perfect of 5 of 5 from the line. A rebound, a couple of assists, and 1 block. Really just everything done well by Dave Ildefonso, and there is not one Imus Brotherhood guy that was able to stop the onslaught of Dave Ildefonso.
Maganda tanungin, no? Kung sinadya ba niya ipabandang tira kanina, kumindat pa sa akin kanina. Final score po natin ay 103 para sa Abra Solid North Weavers, 80 for the Imus Brotherhood, and Abra winning this one. Let's go courtside to Miss Gianna Lianes.
Yes, congratulations to our best player of the game, Dave Ildefonso from the Abra Weavers. Dave, kwento ni Coach Yong, it was a very special experience for a lot of you guys last week to play in Abra for the first time. How special was that for you?
Before anything else, I just want to say thank you. Syempre, I'm really happy for my performance and my team's performance. So it's all credit to God. And syempre, going back to Abra, it was such a surreal experience to be able to play in front of the people of Abra. So, buti lang nanalo kami against Quezon. And it's really fitting na we're back here again in Quezon. So, sana walang bad blood from the people of Quezon. Pero yun nga, it was a special experience for us, and thankfully we were able to defend our home court.
He did say that's a huge morale boost for your team, especially because you'll be facing a lot of tough teams in the future. Kaya, what are you most looking forward to dahil babalik nga kayo ng Abra next Saturday?
Syempre, I'm really looking forward to playing against Pangasinan because My dad's from Pangasinan, and we all know the history with that. So I'm a competitive guy. I try to go into each and every game just to try to compete and try to make myself better and try to help my team win in whatever way I can. So I'm really looking forward to that game.
Dave, can you invite the Abreños for your next home game?
Sa mga Abreños dyan, kung wala kayong gagawin ng Sabado, nood naman kayo ng laro. And I just want to say thank you to Pastor Ferdy for always guiding us and giving us Bible studies. And I just want to say hi to my girlfriend, Selena. Hello. And to Nano Babae and Nano Lalaki. Nano Babae, pagaling ka sana. And kay nanay and tatay, hello. And kay Tito Dino, Tito Johnny, salamat sa pag-suporta at pag-nood. And kay Burlington, sabi ng kalbo kong kaibigan. Okay.
Thank you very much. Congratulations to you and your team, Dave. Our best player of the game is brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Back to you, Ken and Coach Mike.
Thanks, Gianna and Abra. Remaining one of the top teams in the North. Speaking of that, Caloocan Batang Kangkalu has a chance here. They will take on the very vengeful Quezon Huskers playing at home. Kaya huwag kayong aalis. Magbabalik ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.